Hello everyone, welcome back to Hyperbole. I'm not even sure if I'm still doing that for this one, but it probably is going to be for now. I just, an hour or so ago, got out of Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders. Yeah, it's a one night only here, October 10th, for this one. Much like Batman The Killing Joke got a limited theatrical release after Comic-Con, this one gets a release and is on Blu-ray and DVD, I think in a month or in a week. I'm buying it! So yeah, Killing Joke was sold out. That was advertised all over the place and is like the main movie for DC. Like that and Watchmen are their holy grail books, okay? Caped Crusaders is not. This one got advertised a bit, but I think there were 6 of us in the theater. It's also, by the way, Canadian Thanksgiving. What's up? My family's all in Southern Ontario. I had a potluck on Saturday, hung out with people yesterday, so Tuesdays is whatever day, or Mondays, whatever day to go see a movie. So I went and saw this, and I'm pretty sure that's why it had issues, but I'm sure after how well Killing Joke did, they were probably expecting more from Caped Crusaders. Fun fact, this is the first year ever that I can think of that has had not only 2, but now 3 theatrically released movies with Batman in the title. Batman vs. Superman, of course, Batman The Killing Joke for 2 days, and now Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders. You might have to go back to the 30s and 40s for when they released the Batman serials in theaters to actually see more than one Batman release in the theaters in a calendar year. And yet, they're not films, they're serial installments. These are films. Now, I know a lot of criticisms about Killing Joke were that it wasn't really needed. It had problems, things like that. It did, and yet I enjoyed it well enough. This one, like the quality was so much further up. The visuals were amazing for this. It has that modern sensibility of animation, and yet it's the 60s Batman. This thing stars Adam West and Burt Ward and Julie Newmar in their original roles as Batman, Robin, and Catwoman. Frank Gorshin, Burgess Meredith, Cesar Romero. Sadly, they've all passed, but we do have Riddler, Joker, and Penguin. We also have the police chief and the commissioner, people doing their voices. We have Alfred and Aunt Harriet. We have, I think someone else, I forget who it is, from the original stuff, but they're there. And yet, it worked. This movie was so much fun. I wasn't going to do Hyperboles for the next little bit until I really figured out what I was going to do, but I need to talk about this movie. Return of the Caped Crusaders is not an adaptation of anything from the prior Batman 60s stuff. It is literally set in that era, set in that time, with a team-up of villains that Batman and Robin have to face. Now, I will defend the original Batman stuff. If you go watch GPC 101, 102, and 103, you'll know I talk about the original Batman movie and how it works. It was the Batman we needed. It made the franchise live. This taps into that beautifully. It's comedy of the absurd, and yet they know it. There's a scene where they say, wait, we got to stop them, but we got to go to the crosswalk. You can't break the law, even when you're trying to uphold it. Quick, Robin, to the crosswalk. I quoted it. It's incredible. And it's for laughs. It's for laughs. It knows. And that's the best part of that. Now, there's stuff that I didn't know happens in this movie, and I will not tell you, and I don't want you to know until you see it. But it's like, oh God, they're doing, oh no, what? And it's amazing. It's so funny in what it does. It's brilliantly thought out. It goes places that you never thought it would, but always wanted. It's so good. They look amazing too. Like, that's Adam West and Burt Ward from the 60s and how they drew it with the perfect hair and everything. Spot on. That looks like Burgess Meredith. That looks like Cesar Romero. The mustache isn't quite worked in. But that looks like Frank Gorshin. That sounds like Frank Gorshin. That sounds kind of like Burgess Meredith. That kind of sounds like Cesar Romero when he laughs. Otherwise, he sounds like another guy's voice that doesn't really work, like Romero. It didn't quite hit for me. Julie Newmar sounds like a grandmother. She is. But it's weird in that sometimes it sounds perfectly fine. But it sounds like she's trying to sound young, which I'm sure is exactly it. It seems odd. It seems kind of like he's never quite enunciating it all perfectly. It's always a little held back from the voice in that this is the camera, and if we just go over there, we'll be able to get... Like, there's nothing behind it. It's weak. It's weak. It sounds weak, but she looks like the classic Catwoman. So it seems it doesn't quite work as well as it could. Meanwhile, Burt Ward still sounds fine as Robin, and Adam West, every now and then, Robin, we have to make sure that we cover all the bases when we go in there. I kind of started a little high pitch, but it's going over with the crosswalk. We must make sure to always uphold the law. And he kind of slurs it a little bit, almost like a Bill Cosby, in that we have to do. It's a little bit of that, but in Adam West voice. It is really off-putting sometimes, but you just forget about it pretty quick, and you're right into it. Especially when stuff happens. I'll leave it at that. It's a cartoon brought to life. Now a cartoon again. Because the original was such a comic book. It was absolutely comic book through and through, and embraced it by making, like, people bought colored TVs to watch the Batman show in the 60s. That's how crazy colored that was. And now here in 2016, we are literally seeing an animated version of that, and it looks perfect. It looks like it should have always been this in the first place, and you can tell kind of in a way it was meant to be this. The colors are vibrant. The action's great. It's a lot of punching. There's like 4 fight scenes, but they're all great. They're all good. They're satisfying. And there's one bit, like how the camera tilts is so well done. But the overall fighting and action scenes are so well crafted beyond what they could do, because they weren't stuntmen, but they're animated now and they can do it. There's a couple car chases that are so good. The way the music's integrated is fantastic. I can't praise this thing enough. I will give you one bit in that. I'll give you two. I'll give you one. I don't want to give you the other one, but they reference stuff. Oh God, they reference stuff. In the Batcave even, there's 2 Batsuits, but it's from the 60s, so all there is like a black and white one and the original first appearance with the purple gloves. That's it. He's only got 2 in there because of when the era is. But at one point, well, I'll tell you, they do reference the '89 movie, and they reference Dark Knight Rises. At one point, Batman says, he's always telling Catwoman to stop, and she's always telling him to come with. And at one point she says, oh, fine, I'll give it all up on one condition. You come away and run away with me, and we go to Europe, and we drink tea in a cafe, and just let nothing happen. And Robin goes, holy disappointing conclusion, Batman. We lost it in the theater, because that's Dark Knight Rises. It's so good. So, that's the stuff they do, and I want more. And they've already confirmed a sequel with William Shatner as Two-Face, and it's awesome. I want more. I love this. I don't give numbers, but this is 10 out of 10. You have to see this. If you remotely like Batman, which you do, you'll like it. Here's my problem with the theatrical viewing experience. There was like a 5 to 10 minute clip of Kevin Smith with 2 people who I don't know who they are doing their geek show. And I've seen a bit of it, but it's their like Geek Squad show, whatever it is. They talked about like their Batman, an introduction to Batman and things like that. And it's like, get on with it. It had nothing to do with anything about how much they like Batman. And how much they like Adam West and Burt Ward. Get on with it. So that could have dropped that. But because it's a Cineplex theatrical like event showing, they showed trailers for their other ones. And there were 6 of them. One of them was a 1.5, 2 minute long trailer for all their productions of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. Okay, so live theater. One of them was for the Russian Ballet. Okay. Another one was for their new season for the Met. Okay. We're here to see 1960s animated Batman, not live theater. But okay, what else you got? We got Kenneth Branagh's The Entertainer. I don't want to see stage shows, guys. You're advertising the wrong people here. We got Miss Saigon 20th Anniversary. I really don't care about these guys. Stop showing all these. And we got another one. I can't remember what it even is. I forgot what it was. Shakespeare, Globe, Met. I honestly forget what it was. There was a 6th one. No, Richard III, Ray Fiennes, doing a cool bit. But it's like it's 15 minutes of trailers for opera and stage plays. Granted, looks good. All looks great. Looks fantastic. Looks well done. If I was interested, I'd be all over this stuff. However, I'm not. I'm here to watch a Batman cartoon that's like the campiest of camp. Not live theater from England. But it's a Cineplex event, so they showed it. It was almost like, am I in the right theater? What am I about to watch? And then the logos came up. The opening credits for this movie also were fantastic in that they came out and it was the first appearances, much like they mock in the original show, but they did it for all the characters and they came into the cover and then out. It was really cool. I'm a little bummed when the DC logo came up. It wasn't the old DC logo. It's the brand new one. I'm like, oh, it should have morphed or something. Biggest complaint is no Batgirl. I'm a huge fan of Yvonne Craig's Batgirl. Obviously, she's passed, so they didn't want to include her yet. They're doing a sequel, so we can only hope that they do something with her for that. They said literally the sky's the limit. They are planning more for these. The genie's out is how they put it in the behind-the-scenes stuff they talked about at the end, because they had to think about the villains and how they approached them and portrayed them. It was all so good. I am buying this. I can't wait to add it to my collection and watch it again. I wish I didn't go solo. It was a last-minute thing. It's Thanksgiving, like I said, so friends couldn't make it. I laughed so much. We were all laughing in there, all 6 to 10 of us. It's a bummer. But as far as I'm concerned, Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders is a must watch. I can't say it's like, I rank it like Deadpool in that I loved that movie in the theater, but the more I think back on it, it's good. This one is like high on the list. I love the hell out of this. So that's that. I just had to come and say this because I don't know how many people are going to. It's no killing joke. It's so much better. And here's the thing. If you don't like that old 60s Batman show, you'll probably still love this because they're like doing stuff and they know you know, and they know that you know that they know, you know. There's the TV dinner bit in the trailers where they're on that going through and he gets out of it in a ridiculous way that everyone loved. And yet when you get right down to it, they could just roll off. So that's Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders. A must-watch. Absolutely. Highest recommendation I can possibly give. I'll leave it at that. I am Scott. This is Cyclops Scott on YouTube. Same over on Twitter. It is the Guilty Pleasure Cinema. The .com is out of date, but it is on Facebook as well. Like, favorite, subscribe. As always, comment, do all your fun stuff. Let me know. Let's get the views on this. Let's get the subs on this. I want to do more of this, and I want to talk more, and I'm gonna anyway. So let's make this worthwhile, all right? Thanks again. See you next time.